Start of the NBA playoffs, where both LeBron James and Steph Curry will start their chase for a fifth ring. Both Lakers and Warriors like their chances after making huge midseason trades to improve their teams, but they'll have to get through the gauntlet in the Western Conference before getting a shot to add to their trophy case. All right, S.A., who do you think is going to ball out more in the playoffs? LeBron or Steph?
Well, I think it's going to be LeBron, because I think that Steph is going to have a very, very tough time with an individual by the name of Amen Thompson. I mean, as this brother, I'm just a huge, huge fan of this brother. And I think that, and of course, I love me some Ime Udoka, who I believe is one of the best coaches in basketball, who I believe within the next 2 to 3 years will deliver a championship to the city of Houston. Okay, that's how I believe in that brother. But Thompson is something special. I keep telling everybody. I know they're seeing it. They're seeing the athleticism, but his defensive prowess, his unwillingness to shy away and run away from any challenge, no matter how daunting it may appear. I mean, to me, when I think about Dillon Brooks, who I'm a fan of, and I've grown to become even more of a fan of Dillon Brooks because I like brings to the Houston Rockets. I think Ime Udoka got him on purpose. We all respect Van Vliet. We know what Jalen Green can do, what his talents. Shagun, this brother can play. He's a big boy that can play. We get that part. But Amen Thompson is the future. This brother's special. And I think that Steve Kerr is going to really, really have to coach, against this kid. He's going to have to figure out a way to neutralize him because he's the pest. Even though Minnesota can up the ante, I'm looking at a LeBron James, shooting 55% against McDaniels. I'm seeing him shoot 46% against the Julius Randle. They don't have to deal with the combination of Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert on the front line, where you're essentially going to be out on the perimeter doing damage. LeBron's going to be able to go in the post when Rudy Gobert has to go to the bench, and I don't know who you're going to have to deal with him because they don't have anybody else with the girth to really deal with that. I see LeBron James having a pretty damn good series. I think I see him having an easier, a big-time series against Minnesota than I see of Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created, having an easy time against Houston. I just see LeBron, the path for LeBron being a little bit easier.
The last time I sat here and had the distinct privilege of sitting across from my friend Stephen A. Smith, he told me that no one strikes fear into the heart of a defender like Steph Curry.
He did.
And if you look at what has happened since Jimmy Buckets showed up in Golden State, you see a 5-point gain in Steph Curry's output. Everyone's going to talk about what playoff Jimmy does. Let's talk about what playoff Jimmy's going to do for playoff Steph. We already mentioned this earlier. I believe LeBron is going to take somewhat of a backseat to Luka Doncic in the playoffs. And by the way, if I have to pick, I'm taking the Lakers to come out of the West. He'll be great. Steph Curry is still #1 with a bullet in Golden State. And Wendy, I think you'd agree, opportunities to still compete and really have a chance to maybe go on a run, they don't come along that often as you age. Steph has a chance with this team, how they've played since the arrival of Jimmy, to do something. I think he's aware of the moment. I think we're going to see Steph absolutely ball out in the West this playoffs.
We're getting a gift here because I don't think any of us thought that you could look anybody in the eye and say that the Warriors or Lakers would have a chance to maybe get out of the West this year. Remember, a year ago, they were non-factors in the playoffs. The Lakers fired their coach because of how poorly things had gone. And the Warriors were like, we got to say goodbye to Klay Thompson. We got to move on and, try to retrofit our team. Look where they are now. In part, some of the stuff that they have done, the Lakers hiring J.J. Redick, but obviously those midseason trades, bringing in Jimmy Butler and bringing in Luka Doncic, have given Steph and LeBron new life. The idea that we're even talking about this is tremendous. I don't think seeding matters at all in the Western Conference outside whoever Oklahoma City plays. Obviously, home court, you get the higher seed, you get home court. But 2, 7, 6, 5, these teams are all very close. I can honestly look at you and say, I don't know how it's going to go. I will say this. I think that as Stephen A. said, I think the matchup for LeBron is a little bit more comfortable than the matchup for Steph. I also think that when you look at LeBron, I got to see how he looks with this groin injury. Since he had that groin injury, he has struggled a little bit. And now he's going to have 8 or 9 days off. They gave him the end of the season off because they worked hard to get that 3 seed. He's going to try his best to get his body ready. But he also tweaked that groin a little bit right there at the end when they were fighting for that 3 seed. So I got to see how he looks, and I'm sure he's going to show the benefits of the rest. But that's a big factor. But I think the fact that we can even have this discussion and we can talk about the idea that one of these two guys could maybe get to the conference finals, because it can't be both. They're both on the same side of the bracket. And the idea, without any disrespect to anybody, that we could see them in the next round at this stage of their careers, that's awesome that we're even on the board.
Peter,
Yeah.
you may not know this. April 6th, Golden State goes against Houston. This is in the midst of Steph Curry being on his tier. Do you recall what happened that game?
If I were to guess, I would say that you're going to say his output was not overwhelming on April 6th.
Amin Thompson largely contributed because he spent most of the game guarding Steph Curry. Steph Curry shot 1 for 10, finished with 3 points. Now, obviously, that ain't going to happen again.
It is not.
This Steph Curry we talking about. What I'm saying to you is that at least gives or provides some kind of indication that an explosion, the likes of which we've seen Steph Curry do with everybody else, it's a little bit different with this kid. He's that special defensively, y'all. I'm telling you.
Got it.
It's going to just keep your eyes on it.
Contain him. No, that's fair.
Fair.
I get it, Stephen A. You're going with Robin. I understand. Picking up what you're putting down.
Robin, absolutely.
Now you're kneeling. Now you're kneeling.
He's the troll.
Molly, I love
Molly's
it.
the troll today. I like it.
I'm the ultimate troll.
Very
All right,
elite,
time
the greatest
for the
Robin
first
ever. Greatest Robin ever.
triple threat parlay. Time to get our prop bets locked in for this Saturday playoff games on ESPN. Let's make some money, Stephen A. I'm going to you first. Clippers Nuggets. What bet do you like here?
I like Jokic scoring over 30. That's what I like. I like to listen. Zubac has been very, very good this year. And props to him. Props to him. The kid can play. And I love the development that has come along under Tyler and his coaching staff. But this is a different animal right here that he's going up against. And with the lack of reliability that the other components on the Denver Nuggets have shown themselves to be, that puts even more of the onus on Jokic. This is the playoffs. Ain't no back-to-back to worry about. You're trying to survive and thrive, and you've got to move forward in that direction. I think Jokic gets the ball often, and I think he wreaks havoc. I'm going with more with this one. I'm going with Jokic.
Peter, let's grease the pockets. You're headed to WrestleMania in Vegas. For the Knicks game 1, where they host the Pistons at MSG, what do you like best here?
Yes, I will be in Vegas, but at 6 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to make sure I check the score, because I don't know if you guys know, New York's been down bad. It has not been a good week here in New York. Karl Anthony Towns feels the pressure, understands what is needed from this team. Jalen Brunson's going to be chasing Cade Cunningham all day long. The big night for Cat. Give me Karl Anthony Towns, 25 or over.
Okay, fair enough. And finally, for the game that caps the night, Wolves at Lakers. Windy, talk to me.
Molly, LeBron, he has 141 double-doubles in his playoff career. It's basically half the playoff games he's had. And you know he's got to go to the boards, because they're going to need it. It's going to be a big assignment of his to go to the boards. So I like LeBron to get the double-double. You know he's scoring 10 points. He scored 10 points in like 1,400 consecutive games. So he's getting the 10 points, and I think he's got to go to the boards.
Yeah.
All right, so to recap, guys, we're going with Jokic to score 30+, LeBron to have a double-double, Cat to score 25.
Hello, xin chào các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh YouTube của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục đi tô màu để gửi tặng đến các bạn những phút giây thư giãn. Chào mừng các bạn. Rất hân hạnh các bạn đã đến với video của mình. Và để làm được video tô màu của mình thì mình sẽ chuẩn bị những dụng cụ như sau. Đây là bút sáp màu và đây là điện thoại để mình quay lại quá trình mình tô màu. Đây là những sản phẩm được in sẵn. Đấy. Đây là những con vật này. Đấy. Đây là những con vật. Đây là những đồ vật. Đấy. Vân vân. Bây giờ mời các bạn cùng theo dõi quá trình mình tô màu. Các bạn xem video của mình thấy hay thì hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình nhé. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục tô màu nha các bạn.